Okay guys, I'm gonna show you how to sharpen the chisel. So you have your chisel right here and clean it off just a little bit. And the first thing from the steps that I told to you guys is to flatten the back, okay? So if you look in your notes, you'll see the first step is flatten your back. Place the back flat on the stone, okay? So here's the stone right here. This is the stone right here. You wanna get some water. Get some water right here. Just pour a little bit on the stone and the flat part, and you should know where the flat part is. Okay, you put it flat on the surface of the stone and you just drag it back and forth. You can hold on the stone this way, don't get your finger too close, and you just flatten it. Okay, so most of the chisels are rusty, so you would know when it is flat when all of the rust is removed from the bottom of the chisel itself. Okay, so I gave it a couple rubs. If you look at it right now, you can see it's rubbing down. I don't know if you could see that from here. Let me put it a little bit closer. Okay, so you can see some of the silver, and where it is black, you can take off a little bit more of it. But if you feel it right now, it's very, very smooth compared to those that are not sharpened. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just run it a little bit more. Don't try to overdo it or run it too fast. This is not a race. Okay, so try and do it properly and you'll get your best results. Okay, all right, so that I think I'll stop here for now. Pour some water on it, clean it up nicely, and that's your flat piece right there. Okay, so step 2 is to bevel the angle, okay, or to set the bevel angle. And we said, what did we say the bevel angle was? It was 25 degrees to 30 degrees, okay? So this angle right here, and I'll look in the camera, this angle at the tip should be 25 to 30. Okay, so let me try and get it. All right, so this angle right here should be 25 to 30. So what we'll do, we'll turn it over. We'll turn it over this way, and then we'll put some water on the stone itself, and then put it about 25 to 30 degrees, and just start to go back and forth. Okay, don't rush it. This is not a rush thing, and try and distribute it around the whole stone to keep the flatness. Okay, so you have your flat part at the bottom or at the back of the chisel. You're now doing the front of the chisel right here. Okay, we're doing under here on this stone. Let me get some more water. Make sure it's staying. Okay. And from there you start to feel a sharp edge. And if you look at this right here, you'll see that it has a couple, let me see if the camera can zoom in. Let me go out a bit. Have some little bumps right here. So what I'll do, I'll put it on the grinder and get this part as straight as possible before we do the angle. Okay, so let's do that right now. So we're troubleshooting. All right, so what you're gonna do is just turn on make sure you have on your safety gear, turn it on, and then you're gonna just ride it across, ride the chisel across until the edge of it is straight. Okay, so I'll do that right now. I'll try and put it so that you can see what's happening. So I'm just moving it across and across. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm moving it equally so that you have a straight edge. If you don't move it equally, you won't end up with a straight edge. Okay? So this is as good as we're gonna get it right here. Right? Pull it off. And then from there, you can start. You can see it right there. So now the edge is pretty straight. Okay? So now what we'll do, we can go back on the grinder and do some of the work of the 35, the 25 to 30 degrees in order to get it as sharp as we can. Okay? And then we'll use the stone after. So let's turn it back on. Put it at a 25-degree angle. And just grind out. Not too much, you're not overdoing it. And you'll see a shadow on the edge. So that shadow will tell you whether it's getting close to sharp or whether it's still done. So run it across, keep running it across until you get to the end. Okay, so check it now and again. So here we have the edge right here. So it's a little bit, I have it a little bit steep. And you can see it right here. So we're gonna run it again. And what you can do, each time you go through, you can just cool it off. If you wanna check how sharp it is, just cool it off and then just check it now and again. Now, when you sharpen it, it's gonna, some of the metal is gonna come to the flat side. So you always wanna flatten it after you go back and do the 30 or 25 to 30 degrees. Okay? Make sure it's flattened, peel it, flatten now, and then we're gonna run it again. Run it again. And you're gonna get some sap on the chisel. Don't worry about that, okay? You're gonna get some sap, just make sure you have on the right equipment, and we should be alright. We will be alright. We will be alright. If you don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing, you'll be good. Okay. So I've gotten right up to the edge, and if you look at this, it's very, very sharp now. Okay? Very sharp. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll turn off this, and then I'll just grind it down. Let's get some water because it's a bit hot. And I'll grind this down on the stone to get an even, sharper finish. Okay? So let's go back to the 45. Make sure it's at the right angle, which is about here. Back and forth. So we're going in between the angle, the bevel angle, and the flat area right here. And that will give you a paper thin sharp edge. Okay? If you overdo it and the angle of the edge isn't sharp, no, this is really sharp right here. Okay? So that's perfect right there. And you can see it from the top. Just wash it off. And for the remainder of the chisel, you can always dress it up, meaning take off all the rust by just running it on the stone. So we'll do the sides, and you always want a correct angle of 25 degrees. Okay? So once we've sharpened the chisel, which was step 3, we'll remove the burr, and the burr is the metal that came up after we sharpen under here. The metal will try and curve up onto the back. Okay, so you want to remove that by putting it flat on the stone itself. Okay, do not use the flat part on the grinder itself because the grinder is not straight. So if you use the flat part on the grinder, it will give you a bent finish. Okay, so that's basically it, and then you can polish the rest. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start polishing the edges just to give it a nice shiny finish. Get some water here, and you just take your time. You go with wherever the curve is, you just go along with it. Okay, and you can see this is starting to straighten up, and it's starting to look new again. Okay, so you just go around, finish it. You can do the back, the front of it also. So this is the front, this is the back. Always remember. Okay, can start the back. Just get the rust off of it, and by the time you're finished, you'll have a nice, sharp, shiny. And if you realize my finger is not close to it, because my finger here can easily go up and penetrate the finger because it's too close to the blade. Okay, so I'll just start shaving, get off the dirt and the rust and whatever was there before, and by the time you're finished, you will have a brand new looking chisel. Okay, so you just keep at it. Get some water here. I'll make sure water is on the stone. You'll get a much better finish if there's water on the stone. Okay, so you keep going back and forth. Now with the stone, this is just to get off the rough areas. There's another part of the stone that's much finer, and I'll take it out. So the lighter side right here, this is much finer than this. So it's like sandpaper. You have your rough sandpaper and your fine sandpaper. You always start with the rough and then you finish with the fine to get a nice smooth finish. Okay, so we're doing the rough parts right now, which is on the sides, and I'm not gonna go through all of that. You're gonna go through all of that. I'll do as much as I could right now. So I'm doing the angle right here, and the angle on the other side right here. Make sure you have your water. Okay. And the water helps it get a nice smooth finish. Gives it a nice smooth finish. So always use the water. If you stop using the water, you won't get as good a finish as you want. Okay? And you can flatten out the back. Okay? Still have your sharp edge. As long as you don't sharpen the blade, you won't get any dull than what it is right now. Okay, so run the water on it. I'll fill up the bottle with water, so I have enough water right by my side, so you're not going for water all the time. Okay, all right, so that's basically it. And then all this here, you can clean it up using the thinner to get off the paint and so on and so forth. Okay, so this was a very dull chisel, and now it's very sharp. And then once you're finished, as I said, you can flip it over to get a nice polished finish. This is like an extra, like when you're painting a car, and then you sand it down to the smoothest part. And you can do this part right here. Once you feel it now, you don't feel nothing. And you guys can't feel it, but it's very, very smooth. Okay? Put it at the correct angle. Make sure you have the right angle. Go back and forth. Okay? It's gonna be really, really sharp. Yes. Wow. Okay, to the sides. To the other side. And you will have a perfect chisel. Okay, so I need everybody to do this on their own chisels, and then we go from there. Okay, all right, cool.